Lupo's Cinema Symposium, where we take our friend Jimmy into the world of movies, one movie at a time. We watched a movie this week, Jim. What did we watch?
Well, we watched an interesting movie. It's Andrew Nichols' debut film, and it's a movie where genetics control everything because you can control what type of genetics you're given. And unfortunately, for our main character, starring Ethan Hawke, he was born with invalid genetics that causes his life to become a little bit difficult because all he wants to do is go to space. And so, with the help of Alan, I'm sorry, no, Jude Law, actually. With the help of Jude Law, he becomes him and enters the space program, and kind of having sex with Uma Thurman along the way, he goes to space, and we watched the movie called Gattaca.
Gattaca.
Yeah,
Who wants to rate it first?
yeah. I'll go first, as I
Okay.
as I sit here thinking that the answer is going to come to me. I already put it in my letterbox.
I
I gave
remember
it.
when I gave it.
I gave it
Okay,
three
go
and a
ahead.
half stars.
That's crazy because so did I.
Oh,
We
let's go.
actually lined up for once.
Wow.
I think that's maybe the first time. I'm not sure.
The real fans will know. What did you give it?
Well, this is going to be a very uninteresting podcast.
We all did. We all gave it the
I gave it 3.5 stars.
same.
I'm
Wow.
glad. I'm glad that we are all
Wow.
such free thinkers. Such. I'm glad that I finally get it. I'm part of the club. I'm officially cinephile, or whatever they call
Yeah.
You've made it.
it.
That was the pod. That's the podcast, everyone. Though the series is closed and done with. It's over.
Well,
So Gattaca, I feel like um I like it. It's like poses a lot of interesting questions.
mhm.
But it's not like there are people that this is like one of their favorite movies. It's not really that for me. I think it's just good and it's interesting, but um I don't know. I think it's not like I think for one thing the sci-fi elements like it's kind of like we talked about with Elysium. I feel like it's not quite it's not quite like it's too similar to real life like for me. Like I feel like it's like so close again to present day other like I mean when you really think about it, it's like they kind of do all this stuff not to the extent it is in the movie, but there's a lot of like I guess that's the point, but it's I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. Maybe cut this part out. I'm sorry.
No,
Let me gather
there.
what
It's okay. You
I'm
know what?
trying to
I got you.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I thought the movie was good and entertaining in its own way because it's not like a typical, like, I don't know, it almost kind of reminds me of like an episode of Criminal Minds where like things happen with characters and you get like tense moments, but there's not really that much action. Like they throw like a punch. There's like a sprint in a scene. Besides the swimming, which is kind of more of a plot element than it actually is like to be like actiony. Like, I don't know, it's a movie where a bunch of people are talking to each other for extended periods of time, and in order for that to be entertaining, you have to tell like a compelling story, which I think it definitely does because you have this wacky universe where genetics are pre-screened and you can I don't know what it's called, the actual like science of it, like bioengineering or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And to me, one of the like uh things that I found most I enjoy like interpersonal dramas. Like I don't know, like I I find telenovelas or like the dramas that are on like in the middle of the day. I find those because they're like so fake to me. I find them like boring. I love like internet shit. That's one of the main reasons why I like when people like fuck up in real life and they like do all this drama. Like I love that shit. So when things like this are in a movie where you have a character that is like at any point his secret is spilled and he loses his like dream, I always find like that tension to be enjoyable. It puts me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, and this is definitely one of those interpersonal drama is a good way to describe it. I mean, but it's really this one guy's specifically. It's Vincent's like struggle with his identity and his place in life. But like one thing about this movie, um, I it's not that I don't like it. It's just something I noticed is it does feel like sometimes it's not as noticeable, but other times like the characters will feel like they're almost just they're not really they're representing something and not so much a character. Like I don't you know what I mean? Like it doesn't they don't have it's all about the arc and not so much the growth of the characters or anything like that. Like they are
They
pretty
serve the plot.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, more than any which is just it's not like good or bad. It's just something I noticed in the movie. Um and I don't know I think I was missing some of that. I think I wish there was more to the characters even though I agree what's there is very interesting and there's plenty to like dive into with it. Um but it still left me wanting more, I think, out of it. I don't know how
I'm
you
going to
guys
agree.
feel about it.
I'm
Okay.
going to agree. Um, which is interesting because I think the first half of the movie does like a tremendous amount of work to build these characters up, and then like I nothing really changes for any of the characters. Um, Ethan Hawke's character, you do get to see like this dream, this wish fulfillment that he has, and how he's worked towards it. But I don't necessarily know if he learned anything or changed in any significant way. I guess it is just more about that wish fulfillment of him being able to get to space. Um, so it's not like like they're static characters, which is okay. You don't need your characters to change, but it did leave me, like you said, wanting a little bit more out of it in that
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah.
Um, interestingly enough, I think this is a movie. Well, yes, 3.5 stars. I think if I had caught this movie, this is a first time viewing for me. If I had caught this movie early enough in life, I think this easily could have been one of my favorite movies growing up.
Yeah,
Um,
I can see
it's
that.
it's like one of those to me. Like I don't know. I did find it very like sentimental and charming and like emotionally compelling and effective. Uh, but it just sits on that precipice of greatness. It's for me.
I
It's not
I
quite
think
there.
I see what you're saying with like I think what makes it good in that way is it is it's almost like simplifying. It is taking kind of complex commentary like and simplifying it in a very palatable way that I think like I do think that you're right. I think young people see this movie and connect with it. I think that's why it's beloved by like a certain group of people. And
Oh, for sure.
it wasn't really beloved when it came out. It like kind of came and went. Like I've heard Ethan Hawke talk about how it kind of came and went, but over time, you know, people discovered it and that's kind of what it, you know, just grew over time. So I think you're onto something there. Like I think it's good and bad that it could seem like simplistic in some ways, but at the same time, it is dealing with this kind of these complex ideas. And when I say simplistic, I just mean as far as like straight up plot, like start to finish type stuff. Like it's
Mhm.
just he starts out, it's underdog to, his goal basically. So,
Right.
um, I'm curious, Jim, and actually, yeah, you too, Christian. What did you guys think of Vincent? Like
Which Vincent?
the real one. Like, what did
Not
you think
not
of his
Eugene.
character as far as like, not just were you rooting for him, but like, what was it? What did you think of that character?
I was rooting for him the whole damn time.
Yeah. How
As
about you,
like
Jim?
Hmm. I mean, there's that whole element of just like surpassing what's expected of you, like the entire movie. Basically, people like because one doctor said he was gonna die at 30 because his genetics said so.
mm,
It like really like bound him up because he was essentially like coddled, and then once like his replacement showed up that was like better than him, it kind of gave him like a complex of like um I can do whatever I want to, and which is nice to think about, and it is like a inspiring feat of like the human condition, I guess if you want to call it that, like our will to always like rebel. Like I remember in math class once, uh like they saying like the talent, what is it, like hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then my math teacher was like, actually, talent always wins, no matter what. And that kind of like pissed me off because I like always did shit in that class, and I like studied extra hard, and I like got like an A in that test.
what grade was this?
Ninth.
Oh, okay.
What if you said first grade?
No, no.
I would have known who he was talking about.
The reason I asked that is because this time more than the first time, I saw the first time I kind of would agree. I think I felt like I just didn't really think about it. I just was like rooting for him. This time more so I noticed, and when I noticed that there is more complexity there, and he kind of is, even though I think the the moral of what he's doing is like he's trying to basically beat an oppressive system, which is admirable. So like
Yeah.
you kind of want to root for him on that way, but he himself is kind of like a selfish prick and like really immoral person.
Oh, he's a dick.
And I noticed him; he felt a little more evil the second time I watched it this time, and I just thought that was interesting that it's not something I really felt at all the first time I watched this movie, and it did add a little bit for it, to the movie for me.
Hmm.
Did you guys feel that at all, or not at all?
I
I
mean,
didn't.
he is
Yeah. Go ahead.
kind of a dick. Um,
Well, he also kills a guy, although it's not like there is kind of an uncertainty to it. I think it's pretty. I mean, I think it's uncertain, but I think it's also pretty. Um, there is a way you can. I mean, what do you guys think he killed that guy or no?
no, they totally arrested the guy who killed him.
So, but
Um,
I think that's not clear. Like, because I think the whole point of that character, the boss, is that guy
right.
will do anything to get that mission off the ground because that's his legacy, right?
Even if it means he's getting arrested for murder.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, I didn't take it that way, but I mean, you definitely could. Like, it's not certain that he didn't kill him. I mean, his fucking DNA was there.
Yeah, but if you think
Um,
about the plot of it, though, like the DNA that they found was specifically when he was peering over the ledge, like looking at, or like around the corner, and they're using that specific piece of data to go with the theory that they then ran with for a good bit of the
right.
movie. Like I don't know, unless I'm misremembering, do they have other bits of like they do talk about some other leads, but I don't really think it kind of like comes as a surprise because we're not really keyed up to their investigation most of the time. Like it's just them like showing up to a place or like whenever
Yeah,
the character is near.
their investigation kind of sucked, bro. That was another thing. Their investigation was terrible.
So that's one of the things I didn't like is that you're building up this like detective who is, I guess, genetically superior to the older detective.
Yeah,
Um, you're kind of building up the older detective to be like wizened and like hardened and like have a good nose for this shit, and then he's just wrong at the end, and he's like, "Oh well, I fucked up. That's it." And I was like, "Oh, that's disappointing."
yeah, it was kind of weird because it does like very overtly set that up, and then it never goes anywhere. I wonder. It's almost like I wonder if they were trying to um, make it like a double rug pull or something that like, oh yeah, he actually is not. I don't know. It's weird.
You're never really sure what the red herring in this is supposed to be. Like as you're trying to
Yeah,
piece it together, so I don't know. The crime element of it is very fun on the side of like the cat and mouse that you get with the detectives and Vincent, but the payoff you're like, like even if he did kill him, like I mean, eh. It doesn't go anywhere. He got away with it if he did, and if he didn't do it, he's off the hook. Like,
yeah,
I get that it's like the driving plot behind like things are getting tighter around him and like really constricting him, and is he going to make it to space is kind of the point of it. But like I would have liked to see it rounded off a little better, I guess, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Um,
Um,
that being said, like regardless of that, the chemistry between every single actor and character in this movie is awesome. I think everyone did a great job in this.
yeah, Jude Law especially. I think Jude Law um, really added a lot to this movie. I think Uma Thurman, while she's like fine, her character didn't have a lot going for it outside
Yeah.
of the one scene where
No, but I
the officer comes to his house and she's kind of that was an interesting scene for her. But other than that, she doesn't. I didn't feel she had a lot to
I
do
do think
other
she
than
had good
be the girl.
like she had good chemistry with Ethan Hawke.
Well, yeah, I
I mean, they
agree.
got married after this movie,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
but but I don't know, like it's still something to appreciate, like on-screen chemistry. I mean, it does say something about
yeah.
the quality of the film, or it can.
Alan
Um,
Arkin was good too. I don't know the cop's name. The other cop, I mean, the brother. I don't know his name, but he was pretty good. I thought. They were all
Is
good.
I did like I don't know. I just thought you could tell everyone who made this movie like thought highly of the script and was like really like willing and able to make this movie and have fun doing it,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I did think like the weak point of the movie was the romance because I felt like it was underdeveloped. Um,
yeah, it just kind of happened.
yeah, and like it doesn't really go anywhere. I felt like I don't know.
I like the fact that she has like the defective heart, not
Yeah,
nearly as severe as Ethan Hawke, but I don't know. They dropped all like the reservations Uma Thurman's character should have, like because she's on like she sniffed him out like as soon as she knew something was up with that character. And when
yeah,
she finds out, there's like almost no backlash whatsoever. There's no like fucking I fucking knew it kind of moment, and there should be. And like I don't know, it goes from tension to like zero conflict to just romance too quickly, I guess.
yeah.
That being said, I mean, I still enjoyed that part of the movie, but it is one of the weaker parts of it. I don't think I disliked any part of this movie. Like again, I just wish it were a little better.
I think I that's like my whole thing that is my thesis on the movie. I feel like I feel the exact same way. There are things here that are very, very good, but it could have been more in my eyes. Like I feel like they
Mhm.
settled. Maybe it's just a matter of they didn't have the time or money to do more ambitious stuff. Um, but I think ultimately it does make me feel like I wish there was a little more to it than there is.
Yeah.
But that said, it still is at what it's doing, it's very good. Um, I mean, the look of the movie is very cool and sleek, and it has this 50s vibe, which is kind of interesting. Um, but
Yeah, it has like a retro futurism thing going for it.
yeah,
I think I
yeah,
read too, like all the buildings they used were like brutalist 50s designs to kind of get that sleek feel too, like all the exterior shots and stuff.
yeah. Which
Um,
I mean, my thing with the sci-fi is I just feel like sci-fi is but again, this might go back to they didn't have money, they didn't have time. I don't know. And it's not necessarily a negative. It's just something I that
yeah.
popped into my mind. So my thing with sci-fi is sci-fi. The point of it is this is your why whatever your mind can imagine is possible. You can go that with sci-fi, and with movies like this, like I feel like you in your wildest dreams, it's 50s world with that's barely different. The biggest difference is how they basically. I guess what I'm saying is this kind of does what Brazil does, but it's way less weird, and I kind of dislike
Mhm.
that about it. Brazil's super weird, and I loved that world. Um, versus this, I felt like it was kind of um, not sterile. It's because it is it does have it has an identity and it's sleek, and I like that. But it's just that I wanted more to it, I guess. It doesn't feel it feels underdeveloped maybe to me. But again, this all sounds negative, but I like it. It's just
Oh, yeah,
it's
this is
almost
a
like
great movie.
nitpicking. I'm really that's what I'm nitpicking kind of.
Yeah,
Um,
it's okay. Like I don't know, like some of my favorite films aren't necessarily the films that I would give 5 stars to.
right.
And I thoroughly enjoyed this, and it's a 3.5. Um, and that's okay.
Yeah.
um, it just is what it is. But you're right. It left me wanting more.
Yeah.
Um, which can be a good thing sometimes. But in this case, I guess that's the only thing to its detriment is that I just wanted a little more out of it. Like this could have been a 2.5 hour movie,
Yeah. It probably
uh,
could have.
easily.
And what's there is really I do Ethan Hawke and Jude Law are so good in this movie, and they do such a good job of making you care about the character, both characters. Um, and it does feel like there is. It's not the depth to the character is not necessarily in the script, but their performances add a little bit of depth to it. So there is a lot of depth to the characters in that way that makes you kind of wonder. I don't know. Um, I just wanted to see them do show a little bit more, other than just more character moments. I guess it is you're
Yeah,
not
not
just stuff
every
that's plot. Not that it isn't plot driven, but it's not the it's the details. I guess the details are what I'm looking for in this movie.
I think you're right, and I think with every um like plot line for that's like between each of the characters, I feel like you could have like another scene for every single one of them.
Yeah.
to just round out the relationships and the characters and like motivations and things like that just a little better. I mean, obviously not Ethan Hawke's motivation, but for everybody else.
So, you guys, so you guys didn't think at all that he like you didn't think there was any conflict in Ethan Hawke at all?
Ask your question differently.
Okay, you didn't think that there was any like he wasn't
He didn't
a
kill the guy. Is that
villainous.
what?
Yeah, yeah, basically at all.
No,
Um,
Okay,
because like think about it. Anytime that he's
that
had to
kind of fucks
do,
up my whole what I think of the movie because like I feel like this time I had a whole other realization with the movie, and I kind of felt like I understood a little bit more what it was saying and all that. And now I'm a little more confused. I'm kind of thrown off. I thought you guys would agree with me.
I mean,
so I wasn't sure. Like, I think you used the term rug pull.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if they were gonna do that, and like, oh, he did do it. But honestly, I don't know if it's just the way Ethan Hawke was like played it, but I believed him when he said he didn't do it.
so one of the scenes that made me I don't know, I guess it doesn't really say anything explicitly, but one of the scenes that I noticed was, um, the scene where the guy walks over and his face is on the computer, and he points above the face like he doesn't notice, but Ethan Hawke is so, like, angry in that scene, like, he's, like, staring daggers into the guy, like,
Yeah,
it almost like, in the performance, I felt like there was it wasn't just, like, an anxiety, it was like he's trying to telegraph something else there. Um, that's how it felt to me, and then that was in the end, it rounded out with, like, that the realization that the cop has that he thinks that the boss did it, um, and the explanation is that he'll do anything for the mission. Well, based on that, I don't know. It all fit. The puzzle pieces all fit together for me.
so for me, it
Um,
was a little disjointed because, like, right, you get the impression that the younger cop is wrong,
yeah,
but at the same time, I believed Ethan Hawke's character when he said he didn't do it, and I don't know, the whole plot point of the murder just seemed like to me a pretense to get the cops there and on his trail.
yeah,
Like whether or not he killed the guy never seemed to be like the focus of the story.
yeah. No, I don't think it is, but I think it is important to the themes of the movie because I think the one of the things I found this time is the movie is very it's for me I noticed like I said I felt like Vincent was very selfish,
Mhm.
but he's selfish because
Well, he
he's
is.
living in this he's selfish because he is selfish, but also it's magnified by this oppressive world he's living in. um and then it's not just that, it's also there's kind of a inherent selfishness to the world by all these people kind of um, going along with this whole this I guess you can call it dystopia, whatever you want to call it. Going along with it because it suits them, um, and just the ideology of this world that you're only as good as your usefulness. You know, your humanity is gone, and
Right. And to me, it's like whether or not he killed the guy is through the film's own logic almost a moot point.
yeah, it is.
So
I
I don't know.
agree.
I didn't like whether or not he killed him was more a statement on the character than like where the plot was going to take it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I just didn't devote enough of my time watching the movie to asking myself, do I actually think he did it?
Yeah, and I don't. I agree. I don't think it really matters. I think it just adds something to not only his character, but the other guy's character, and then by adding something to that character, it's adding something to the world these people live in
Yeah,
that, like,
it's a nuanced kind of like
yeah,
yeah, and it's a good writing style. I think if I were to go back and watch this again with that in mind, I would see it a lot more clearly. Um, the way the way you watched it.
but, I mean, I could be totally I don't know, maybe I could be
I th-
totally
Actually, I
pulling
think this
this
is
from
one of the things the movie does well is where two people can watch it and take two like or three of
I
us can watch
agree.
it and take three fucking takeaways from it, not
Yeah,
having watched the same film. Um, that's like a strength of this movie. It is like a this movie is like the jack of all trades of movies. You know, it does everything well, but it's not a master at anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I did think so the scene that made it go from, like, good to very good in my eyes was the scene where, which is the absolute best scene in the movie, where Jude Law we kinda talked about it earlier. The cop comes to Jude Law's house, and Jude Law has to now climb the stairs and pretend he's him again, and I just thought that scene was, like, fucking awesome. Like, it
Yeah.
was just awesome, and Jude Law is great in the scene, and it's so, like it's one of those
Such
things I love stories like that where, it's just the intrigue of all that, like, is he gonna get found out? Is he not? I just think it's really well done.
I think so as well. Also, Jude Law plays it perfectly.
Yeah.
Um, I and even to the part where Ethan Hawke is hiding behind the pillar.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, but
Awesome.
that's another thing.
His
You just
brother.
reminded I know you're right, it is kind of, like, meaningless, but, like, that was another thing. To me, in that scene, you can read it 2 ways. He's hiding or he's sitting there waiting to kill the guy if he fucking comes down
Oh
there
yeah, he for
and he gets
sure
too
is
close.
waiting to kill that guy.
So, like,
Which,
but that
to your
adds
point,
to
yeah,
that's another reason why I think maybe I think he did it, like, it's but anyway, you're right. It really ultimately, it's not really important, but
no, but
you
that
just
and then
reminded me.
like again, also to your point, like like after the audience finds out it's his brother, which the whole movie I was on the fence. Like I was like, this guy looks like him, but I don't know if I'm just tripping.
Yeah.
um, like he is definitely willing to like let his brother die, or you get that impression up until he rescues him.
Yeah.
Um, so to your point, like no, he is a ruthless character. Like you can definitely read it that way.
Yeah. And I do like that about the movie. It adds a little bit of, little complexity to it.
Honestly, like the way the character is written, even if like he was like, "Yeah, I killed the guy," in the beginning instead of just being
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
"What?
yeah,
No," I would have been like,
yeah.
he's still like a sympathetic character because I
Yeah.
mean he's fighting against a world, where it's eugenics. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
really.
never gonna be the eugenic society is not what I'm gonna root for in the end.
Mm.
No, no.
That too, and just the time that take like the timeline of the actual movie itself, like he has to maintain a ridiculous routine for multiple. I mean, I don't know exactly how long he's been doing this, but in the movie itself, it's what, a year that we know of him like doing this routine and doing all this. Like, yeah, if anything would fuck it
Yeah, I
up,
think so.
Like the fingerprints and
yeah,
the
the daily finger scrubbing yourself meticulously down every day. Like I would probably snap too if like all that effort just came and
You would snap if you had to take a shower
no, yeah, but
every day.
that's why I only do it twice a year. Well, yeah, like you know what I mean. So
No,
it's
I get
like
what you're saying.
I can welcome the idea that he's like a villainous character, but I just think that anytime it's like I feel like he could have resorted to violence earlier and easier when things got in his way, like when obstacles came in his way, but he really didn't. Like I feel like it would have shown up in the scenes earlier in the film when it came to like his brother.
Well, I think it's part of it is it's like the further he commits himself to this
Yeah,
um idea I idealism, I guess, it kind of
it's like the
builds
more
and
he's willing to
builds, and then
do.
it's any means necessary, which to me, I like this idea because it's like the two sides. You have this eugenics, like oppressive system, and you have the way that system reflects itself onto someone who otherwise might be a good guy,
Yeah,
but it magnifies his negative traits until he's, you know, kind of he's not complete. Like he still has that good side to him. That's why we like him and we kind of root for him. But I think there is this level of like he will do anything by any means necessary, and I like that idea. So maybe I like it so much, so I want to make it work in my head. I don't know, but
Oh, I have
um,
something here.
hit me.
yeah,
Back to the scene where he's hiding behind the pillar. Um, and you're not sure whether or not the detective is going to find Ethan Hawke.
hmm
Before how much better would that scene have been if the audience knew it was his brother? Like how much more
yeah,
tense and like
Yeah,
I like that the reveal is not is where it is and it works well, but like how much better would it have been if the audience knew and like there was just an extra level of like fucking tension like throughout the whole game of cat and mouse. I don't know. I think that might have served the story better. I just came up with this just now, so maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah. I think you could be right, but you could also say, that's why it kind of lends itself to a second viewing where But I guess either
well,
way, yeah,
tension usually works best when the audience knows what's up and the actors don't or the characters
yeah,
don't. But
yeah.
I don't know. I actually like the through line of the siblings though as a whole.
I do too.
I think that's where like I don't know. I think that gave it like a little extra push for me emotionally.
Yeah, it
Because
kind of it is like the one time where he, I don't know, the whole thing with his brother is his brother's like supposed to be better, but his brother, because he thinks he's better, he doesn't improve at all at anything like in his life. That's why he sucks at everything. That's why he fucking sucks as a cop. And I just like that even though Ethan Hawke like kind of like beats him in the end, he still does have that empathy for his brother and like saves him and all that. I just thought I liked that scene in the water. I thought it was um it resonated with me, this idea that he's like um he was willing to, again, it's him telling his brother he was willing to die to prove something or to, you know, show he's more than what they people are saying he is.
so
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No,
so
I guess like
but
my
yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
actually, you
No,
know
I
what? I'm
wasn't
gonna
gonna
go. No,
say
no, no.
anything.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So do you think that one of the themes of the movie is not that it's eugenics, but it's about uh college?
I'm gonna give you a chance to
Oh
ask
my
a better
god.
Like
question.
society in the age of
About college?
education. Yeah, like if you don't have a college education, you don't have access
You're
to
saying you're saying like the
chase your
eugenics was an
dreams.
I
analogy for
mean,
that.
yeah,
Or
I guess
like
in a way it is.
you
Yeah.
just
Well,
get
like
It's like
seen as like a janitor that has to clean up after the higher
yeah,
class
no,
society.
actually, no, it's not.
yeah.
No, I'm taking it back. No, it's not.
So
I
Jim, I
in
I think this movie has like just as much to say about status and wealth and class as it does eugenics. I think eugenics can be seen here as an
that, yeah.
analogy for that.
Yes.
That's just not the first thing that stood out to me.
That's what I was gonna say. I think in a way it is just because college is in a way is a representation of your, you know, class because if you can afford college, that's like the whole thing. But it's not directly. It's not like if you have a college degree or not, because ultimately the college degree you're putting the work in to earn, whether you can afford it or not is another issue. But like you're doing something to get the college degree. Ethan Hawke in the movie is not doing anything. He's born and he's already in a disadvantage. So
Yeah,
the eugenics and like even like you can put a lot of things in there, but
But isn't
I
that the
mean,
that's
point
the more
though?
direct. That's the
it
more
all
direct
ties in.
comparison.
Like you
It
work
all
at
it's all
Gattaca,
one and the same.
to even work at Gattaca, you still have to like do a lot of hard work to even be able to go to space.
Yeah, I kind of see where. So you're saying Gattaca is college?
Right,
Possibly, like because it's
but
also the
to
owner
even get
when
to even get the opportunity to do that hard work is not based off of hard work in and of itself. It's based off genetics.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. I don't know. Like I think
Which
like I just kind of think of it too as like my grandmother used to work at the US patent office. So she would literally like
mhm.
you would submit a thing that you built and she would check it for like grammar or spelling errors. She did that for like 50 years. Now you need like a college degree to do that.
Is this Grandma Sullivan?
I have no I don't know who that is.
You're saying like they're putting roadblocks in front of things. I mean,
Yeah, because it's like when
I
they talk about the owner was like, yeah, we were just like a normal kind of like thing, and then we decided that we needed to have like the best of the best of valids um
yeah,
to even like work here.
to an extent, yes. I think you're right, but I think it's not just that. It's saying more than that. It's like it
Yeah.
is about like you know it's about race. It's about all kinds of things. Like you can put
True.
anything in there.
How many black
Like
we were talking about it. How many black people were seen in the
Pass.
movie?
I don't know, a couple. There were a few,
Yeah. Is that something?
but
Hmm.
yeah, but I think the movie is avoiding that because it doesn't want it to just. It's like it's not. It's you can apply that to it, but that's not what the movie is about. It's like
Yeah.
the movie is you can apply many things to this. Like so that's kind of
Mm,
why it's not trying to focus on,
right.
this is a race movie. This is
Yeah.
a movie about a lot of things. All the ways that humanity finds to block people out, that for arbitrary reasons or sometimes that in this case valid reasons. He can't see and he fucking might die. They're pretty valid reasons, but it's still an oppressive system and he's still, despite their doubts, able to at least make it to space. We don't see if he can do his job, whatever the mission is. We don't know. We
He's
don't
just up
know
there now.
whether he succeeds, but he made it to space, which
My
they said he
canon
could
is
not
that
do.
he has a heart attack.
Yeah, which also um, is part of my like. Yeah, I agree, Jim. I think he dies because
He
when
does.
we pick up the movie, he is already over the limit of where he was supposed to die. He was supposed to die earlier.
Yeah.
He made it already beat his expectations that the doctor set for him.
And that
So
is
You
like
I
a
know,
have
the theme in the movie too, just like exceeding expectations. Like they talk about the swim ting. Like he always lost to his genetically superior brother, but in the end, he was finally able to do that because he's got grit, he's got
he's got
passion, he's got
no, because
the
he
intangibles.
works at it.
yeah,
He
he's got
works
hard
at it
work.
all the time, and his brother, who feels like he's better by default, doesn't work at it. It doesn't work at anything. That's why he sucks as a cop, and that's why I love the idea that
He
he's
sucks,
so bad as a cop that
even
he
though he
just
was right.
fucks it up. Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Depends how you look at it. Depends
Yeah.
how you look at it. That's another reason why I like it. I like that idea. But
How does this pair up, or not pair up? How does this compare to is it Andrew Nichols? Is that is that the
Andrew
screenwriter's
Nichols,
name? How does this
that's
compare
the
to
director.
his other movies? No, he did he write this as well? I thought he did.
He might have. I know he's also directed it. It's his debut.
I thought he wrote this. I thought he wrote The Truman Show, and I thought he wrote
Oh, he wrote the
in
Truman
time.
Show.
I believe so.
He did write the Truman Show, but
Oh,
he directed this also. He wrote and directed Gattaca.
he wrote, yeah, yeah, yeah.
He did not direct Truman Show, but
Hmm.
um he wrote Truman Show. So my feeling on that is, um, which it kind of lines up with the movie. I mean, I haven't really, I don't know. So here's the thing. I haven't seen his other movies, other than
It's
Truman Show.
I was gonna say, he wrote a movie called In Time with
Yeah,
Justin
I haven't seen
Timberlake.
that.
Uh,
Yeah,
replace everything that's genetic in this movie and just replace it with like how long people have to live and like that's currency
yeah.
in time.
Um, I will say Truman Show is a total banger. That is his best
Magnum
movie.
opus.
If you're going by writing, yeah, that is that is the best. This is also good, and then I haven't seen the other ones, but he didn't direct Truman Show, so it is different. You're getting somebody else's kind of vision of your story. Um,
Mhm.
but I think that's kind of why Truman Show is interesting. It does have kind of has this dark story, but it isn't always dark in how it's told, you know.
Right.
So,
Yes.
but this isn't about Truman Show. But I just that's what I thought about that.
It does have a similar tone to the Truman Show.
Yeah. Although I do think this is a little darker, or than that.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't think so? I thought so.
Well, if we ever do the Truman Show, we can have a discussion about that. I don't know. The
Yeah.
reality, like the way it's framed, sure, but like I mean, it's what Jim Carrey goes through in that movie is kind of horrifying once he
Oh,
finds
I
out what's
agree.
happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the story. I'm talking about how it is the tone of the how it's told. But
That's
yeah,
fair.
like the story itself, the content. Yeah, Truman Show is very dark.
Jim, have you seen it? The
The
Truman
Truman
Show?
Show? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good. Okay. We can skip that one then.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I think I might have put it on Letterbox. I don't know.
Oh, Robbie,
Yeah.
that brings me to a little bit of an aside, but I think when we are brainstorming for movie suggestions for Jim, we should try to find movies with plot twists that he doesn't know about.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
I
fair,
agree.
That's just for me
that
though. That's
brother thing when we were watching the movie, Rob was like, "Do you guys get it?" Or what did you say? You were like, do you
I
guys know
said,
what's
"You guys
happening?" Or
know who
something.
that is or something?"
Yeah,
I was like, I think
Or
so, but I
no, I
need to
didn't even say
see.
that. I said, "Did you guys figure it out?" Which
yeah,
is a good
and
way to ask the question because it doesn't frame the question clearly, which I didn't give
yeah,
it away.
yeah. I had to
But
have
I
it
guess you
shoved in
knew,
my
Jim.
face in order for me to figure it out.
When you said it out, that confirmed it for me. I was like, yep,
I was literally like, "What is he
I
talking
have
about?"
now.
I don't know if I knew the first time I watched it, but I definitely it has been a while since I've seen it, so I didn't remember who the brother was. I remembered something about the brother in the movie, but I just basically I'm saying this time I knew, but I don't know if it's because I saw it before
They
or
do
if I
do a pretty
just
good job of making him look very different from the last time you see him to the first time you
yeah
see him as a detective.
yeah I agree.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess all
I
they did was
also
slick his hair back.
this is random, but I like the scene where Ethan Hawke blows his smoke into the cup, and then the cup is full of smoke. I thought that was cool. I
When he's
thought that
talking
was
about the
cool.
atmosphere on the
Yeah,
I forget which moon it is.
and then he picks it up and he drinks from it. That was fucking cool, man.
I thought it was cool when Jude Law's character uh baked himself alive.
Yeah, I thought that was cool
It was a
too.
very like again, it was one of maybe I was just like not thinking,
Oh,
but I was
speaking of
like,
that,
"Whoa, this is
I love
happening."
that his trophy or his medal is for swimming. That
Yeah.
is a nice little
Yeah, it
it's
fits in the plot.
not, I guess it's not irony, but
No, I
um
know what you mean. Yeah, because
yeah.
he's I don't know. I guess it also is just showing that uh I don't know. They're kind of peas in a pod in a way, like they're like kindred souls or something. They both like to swim, and they're both, I don't know, white guys.
I do like that the photo they use to identify him is a composite picture of Jude Law and Ethan Hawke.
I was gonna say because it doesn't quite look like Jude Law, but I guess, but it's believable enough that you could think like, oh, he's making a face that's like, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it is an image that is like it's a combined image of both of them.
I didn't. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I thought that maybe he was just trying to make a face or something. But that's. I'm glad. That's
do,
interesting.
do
That's
your
kind
best
of
Ethan Hawke
cool.
face.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. I thought he was just trying to
They
do a
also
face.
did, I mean, like aesthetic wise with like all of the characters in general, they did a great job. They did a great job of making Ethan Hawke look like, I mean, like a skinny, scrawny nerd when like at the time this dude is like coming up on being like voted like, the most attractive man of the year and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Um.
I don't know. I liked a lot of the aesthetics, like character wise, background wise. I don't know. I do really enjoy this movie for what it is.
Yeah. I am wondering, Jim,
Me, that's me.
what did you think? Because I'm guessing you haven't seen a lot of movies with Jude Law or Ethan Hawke.
That was my first for both that I would recall.
Wow. Okay.
What is your first
Wait,
impressions on both of them?
um, hmm, because there's like a variety of I don't know how to describe, but like both characters have certain roles that they play and they fit a certain way. Like Ethan Hawke's character is supposed to be very composed and he's kind of like cunning in a way, but he also has moments to where he has to like basically like each actor shows a varying high and low level of like their range of acting in this film with not only just like themselves but the way that they play off of each other is pretty good. I just think that
Yeah,
if I had to like guess, not guess, but like I come to the conclusion then that they're pretty versatile in like what they can do. Like I thought they both did did this movie well. Like I don't know, I actually don't remember. I know doesn't Ethan Hawke play like the villain of like Black Phone?
Yes.
yeah.
That's like the
Although
only
he is
thing that
also
I
known, he's known as like kind of a that almost is like an out of out of typecast role for him. Like he's known more as like the sweetheart, like lovable guy.
okay. What about
Yeah.
Jude
So
Law? What's
Training
Jude
Day.
Law been in?
yeah. Or before sunset, like stuff like Boyhood. Boyhood. He's kind of a deadbeat, but he's likable. you know.
Hmm.
I actually,
Um,
my favorite Ethan Hawke movie is Great Expectations.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's. I I have nothing to say on that movie.
He's
He's
in
good
Dead
in it.
Poet Society. You've never seen Dead Poet Society, Jim?
Is that
The one where they stand on the desks and
yes,
he's
Oh,
the
Captain, my
day.
I
Captain.
have.
He's
He's
That
the
really
movie
young
kid
was
in
in
that.
that.
so long. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a kid. He's the kid in that movie. The
I
main
will
kid.
say, like, I am
Sinister.
actor illiterate. Like, I don't know. Like, I can only associate. I only associate characters with actors and not their names. Like, if you would have, like,
Yeah,
you tell me, like, oh, like Ethan Hawke,
It
I would
comes
be
with
like,
time. It just
I
comes
Mr.
with.
Gattaca.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be like the main character Gattaca. Yeah, yeah.
Gattaca. I need you to distract Kang.
Fuck.
Um, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot else to say other than I like the themes the movie deals with. I don't know that. I think sometimes the premise overtakes the. Let me think of how to say this. It. I guess it just sometimes the premise overtakes the movie. Rather than um, the movie conveying pushing the premise forward. The premise kind of I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but um,
It overrides some of the other
It insists upon itself.
stop.
no, it does not insist upon itself. It just sometimes the premise takes precedent over character, I guess. I'll say
Yeah.
that. But I still the movie is so good. Um, and I think people should watch it because I think it's this is a movie like Jimmy said something while we were watching Kate where he talked about how he was starting to notice themes in movies and stuff like that. This goes back to what you said earlier with like young people. This is a good movie for like young people who are like not like bored of like the fucking like not that there's anything wrong with like Fast and Furious, but like blockbuster stuff,
This is a
and
good
they kind
step
of
into
want
more complex
it's an
ideas.
introduction. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. It's an introduction to complex ideas that's palatable, but it's not dumbing anything down to the point that it loses anything. It's following through on the ideas that it's presenting.
Do we
So,
have any final thoughts?
Um, no, I don't have any.
oh, I had one question. Jude Law is pulling blood every day.
Yeah, probably.
Why doesn't
I
he
think
look
he's
like
doing
a
it.
heroin addict?
He
I,
does. He has the track marks. Remember when they
he's
go to
not.
Oh,
take his
he
He's
blood?
did.
no.
Okay,
He's
I
not
must have
pulling it.
missed it.
He's not pulling it every day.
Okay,
He'll
I
do
must
it.
have missed it because I was literally asking him like, where are his track marks from all that?
Well, I mean, he
But
doesn't have like a lot, but in the one scene specifically when he goes to take his blood, you see
You can
that
see some of the
there are
pokey
like
marks.
three at
okay,
least that are like right there where he like puts the needle like right down below.
Well, no, the
that
idea
gives
is
me
that
peace of
blood
mind.
pack, that blood pack that he's using, like, is just a finger prick most days. So it does. It's like
Right.
it lasts a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why he has like he's like this should last you for like a year or whatever he says, or like the rest of your
Yeah.
life when he's
Maybe
leaving.
well everybody has to do some type of shit like that. Like they're always getting their blood or they're pissed like that. So they might all just kind of have like track marks. Just low key. It's just as part of like
Yeah.
participating in the society.
Oh, I did really like the scene where he switches the blood vials. I thought that was smooth as fuck.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I did like the reveal that the doctor knew the whole time.
Ah,
I
that was
thought that
great.
was
That is
Which is
nice.
kind
fucking
of
great.
crazy to think
Yeah.
about because you would think like I don't know how involved or how much he knew about the investigation by the police, but like you would think he would he would know like you know what I mean like if he knew from the beginning that he wasn't whatever a valid and then they're
Yeah.
like hey this invalid is like the lead suspect on this murder you think does
That's
that mean
true.
like he was just kind of cool with it?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there is that they do have the explanation of he has the empathy because of his son, I think it was.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
do
But
you
your
have that
empathy
much
only goes
empathy?
so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It only goes so far. So I think you're right. I mean, I it could be maybe that was um I don't yeah, maybe if you think about it too hard, I don't know. It
Yeah.
might not really work the way it feels like it does, but also he may not have known. I don't know whether it's confirmed or not. I mean, I don't know that they're necessarily telling the people there that were they. Oh no, yeah, they
They
did because
posted
it
the
came up on the
picture. They posted
screens
his
and
picture
yeah.
everywhere.
So yeah, you know what? You're right. That actually that kind of bothers me.
I mean, maybe he like never knew because he never fucked up. Like he knew that he probably wasn't who he says he was, but like he couldn't. Like he does look different from when he initially got his like invalid photo taken.
He
But
doesn't look that different.
he
And if
changed his
you know
hair.
he's
He dropped his
invalid
he dropped his glasses.
and he slicked back his hair,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
not slicked back, it's pushed
Slick
back.
back.
A
Yeah,
pimp named Slickback. You got to say the whole thing.
But yeah, I don't have anything
yeah.
further.
I'm really looking forward to a second watch eventually,
Mm.
and see what new things I pull out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed the second watch. I almost wondered if it would make me appreciate it a lot more. It didn't. I mean, I there are things I appreciate more,
Well, fuck me,
but
I guess.
no, that's just me, but overall, I think I mostly felt the same about it. Although I
Okay.
picked things up, I mostly felt I always felt like very good movie, not necessarily my like for not necessarily the kind of movie that I like
Right.
is my like that I'm, you know, my thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so
So is that everybody's good?
yes,
I'm great. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
here comes the most important part of every episode. What you guys
Drum roll, please.
what you guys just watch this week, huh?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my god. I'm fucking I wasn't ready, but I am ready because I watched a lot. All right. So I did see Nickel Boys finally. Or wait, did I talk about that last time? No, I didn't.
I don't
I
know.
didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Um. Oh, maybe I did. No, I didn't. I'm gonna talk about it. All
Okay.
right. I saw Nickel Boys finally, and it was pretty good, but it wasn't my favorite of the year. I wouldn't put it in my top 10 necessarily, but it was very good. It was very interesting. It is very inventive in a lot of the ways. It basically what it's doing is it's very interesting how it tells a story. Everything is from a POV, except for a few things here and there. Almost 99% of the movie is a POV. So imagine like you're
Like
playing a
Henry
video
Danger or
game.
whatever that movie was.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah. But you're seeing it from two characters' perspectives. So you're constantly switching and then you're seeing the same scene from another perspective and stuff like that. And it was very good. I didn't necessarily feel that it added that POV stuff added anything to the plot, but I thought it was good.
Hmm.
And it's definitely worth the hype, even though it wasn't necessarily for me. Um, two other things, and then I'll let you guys go. But I saw a movie called After Everything. I never heard about it before. It's the guy from The Bear. What's his name? Um, Jeremy Allen White,
Yep.
and then Micah Monroe. Very good. It's um, I would just say watch it. It's good. It's kind of a spin on like a 50-50 kind of movie, like if you've ever seen that with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Love that movie.
Um, but it adds layers to it that I thought were really interesting. And then the last movie I saw is Piece by Piece, the Lego movie about Pharrell.
Huh.
Banger, banger.
Okay.
Is that on
Very fun,
Netflix?
very fun watch. I'm not gonna say it's like the best movie ever, but it was tons of fun, very cute. Music's great. Do I understand why he made a Lego movie or whatever? No, I still don't know why it was Legos, but it was cool.
Hmm.
That's all.
Good.
How about
I
you,
will.
Christian? What about Christian? He didn't go.
Did I talk about Companion yet?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Well, I'll start with my kids' movie. I watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh, banger! Oh
It's
my
so good.
god,
Why is it so
it's
good?
so good.
I wasn't
It's so,
expecting it to be that good.
they. I thought people were hyping it up before I saw it, and then I saw it, and I was like, "Holy shit, they were right." I couldn't believe it.
Um, and then I'm subscribed to the Criterion channel or whatever, their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So I watch people do like their closet picks or whatever. Um, and I was watching Willem Dafoe's, and he recommended a movie on that called Oni Baba. It's like a Japanese horror movie. I watched it for the second time, and I was equally blown away the second time as I was the first. It's just a really ahead of its time, like creepy, eerie movie. It's like if Kurosawa decided to do like Midsummer almost. It's freaky.
Oh, that's interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, it's good. It's real good.
I'll have to watch that. All right, Jim. Did you watch anything?
I did actually. I did. I did. I watched Southpaw because I was going to watch a boxing movie, whether you guys wanted to or not. That was pretty good. Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know what's the one Jake Gyllenhaal fighting movie where they did like the thing in the UFC.
Real Steel.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. There you go. I
Roadhouse
like
is
Real
good.
Steel. I like Real Steel. They should make Real Steel
I
2.
don't like Real Steel.
Aren't they
I
making
hate
Real Steel
Real
2?
Steel.
Or
No.
did I get fake
Wouldn't-
Better
news?
not be.
Wouldn't surprise
not be.
me.
I've rewatched The Menu. That was pretty good. It's like not like a typical. I don't watch a lot of horror movies to begin with, but it's kind of like the like an atypical horror
See,
movie.
horror is my bread and butter.
Mhm.
Yeah, me and Christian watched that together. That was the Ray Fiennes movie.
The least believable part of that movie was trying to pass off Anya Taylor-Joy as someone who was born poor.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of TV actually. So I've been watching old anime. Y'all ever heard of Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm watching.
No.
I'm watching that. Basically, a kid fucking dies and then becomes ghost detective and fights demons.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I finished A Brave New World. So now I got a bunch of books by my side. Probably
You
gonna start
finished the
with-
book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
About a while.
Don't watch the movie. The movie fucking sucks.
It sounds like it would be hard to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So then I'm gonna start now with The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. And that's it.
I don't think I've read that. Did H.G. Wells do the time
Yes.
Time Machine? Okay, I did read that.
There are some interesting adaptations of The Invisible Man.
Like the one with what's her name from Mad Men.
Yeah, but there's a Kevin Bacon one in the like early '90s, or I'm sorry, late '90s, early 2000s. That's quite
Is he
disturbing.
the one that got canceled?
Kevin Bacon get
No,
canceled?
Kevin Bacon didn't get. No,
I'm
he
thinking of
didn't get
Kevin
canceled.
Spacey. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
I mean, I didn't see Footloose or House of Cards, so these are just names to me.
You haven't seen Seven?
What's 7?
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Noted.
Well, anyway, so this is the first half of our double feature. If you want to learn our opinions on the double feature itself, you're gonna have to wait till the next episode where we talk about the second film that we watched in this session. So make sure you're subbed to the channel. Make sure you check out the Spotify and the Apple Pod. Give us positive reviews, likes, and comments, or I will find you. And you don't want that to happen. Guys, send them your warmest regards.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're telling us to stay fun. But goodbye, people. Follow me on Letterboxd at Rob Brett ROBBRETT. Thank you.
And you can follow me on Letterboxd at skip_Sparky. And in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
You had it wrong. Good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Good morning.
Don't care.
How dare you? How dare you
Whatever.
screw up the line?
Well, no, I'm not. Nope, that's my sign off. That's not. No.
I'm sorry.
That's my signature 100% creative original sign off.
Bad
PM.
afternoon, mid morning, and good night.
That's the show.